Okay, the stream should be streaming. Okay, this looks good. Hello everyone, this is Airphone playing a Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Proto, which is a hack that incorporates prototype and beta elements into the game and kind of remixes it. Yeah, last time we cleared out the light world. We're only at 7 hearts, but there are fewer hearts in the hack overall than in the original game. And yeah, I've had to fight my curiosity to not come back to this game until now. There's a lot to be curious about. The first three, the main dungeons of the Light World, were largely the same as in the actual game. But then we got to Agahnim's Tower, and that, although it had a very similar feel to it, the entire layout was different. The overworld is significantly changed between the actual game and this, which is based on some pre-release maps that were probably never really finished. There's a lot more empty space in the overworld, there's a lot less detail filled in, but the same general shape of things is there. You have the castle or the pyramid in the middle, the Link's house in the grasslands to the south, the desert or marsh in the southwest, the lake to the southeast, village to the west, Palace of Darkness and Eastern Palace to the east, mountains in the north, source of the river in the northeast, and the woods in the northwest. Although, come to think of it, I do remember the castle being considerably smaller. The castle in this game is considerably smaller than in the actual game, and yeah. Normally, mirroring from the top of the pyramid would take you to the upper balcony of the castle, right around where the entrance to Agahnim's Tower is. Here it takes you to the shore of the river, I guess, to the northeast. As you can see, the castle here is smaller and more to the southwest, closer to Link's house. But I think the pyramid is big enough that if I go from near the bottom, that will take me back to the castle. Which is another question, come to think of it. Normally the link from the light world to the dark world, once Agahnim opens the portal, is at the gate to the castle, but there is no wall around the castle here. There's no real gate. So is it somewhere else? Is there no gate? There kind of has to be, I think, because otherwise you could just save in the light world and you'd be stuck there. Yeah, the statues here are the same, but the palette is different. They don't really match up. Moblins look a lot different. They have more of a Zelda 1 feel to them, I think. Although they are taller. Yeah, normally this would be where the bridge is. So the alignment's a bit off. Wait for the mirror to pull me back in. But it's kind of close. So if I come over here... Yeah, this is in front of the teeny little castle here. Which really doesn't have much... Oh, that's interesting. The door upstairs is closed. See if I can veer onto that. Let's see. Going into the castle works fine. Okay, the gate's on the bridge. Let's see if I go around here, maybe? That's a little off. But it does look like this can work. One more try. Also, the cracked wall in the pyramid is there, so Jumbo Bob is probably a thing. Yeah, the door is just completely unresponsive. You can't even tap against it with my sword. So there's some kind of sprite here, probably. Anyway, looks like you can't get back into Aghanim's Tower. Come to think of it, I can't remember if that's a thing with the actual game. I know in Randomizer you can always go back in, but Randomizer is a bit different. Okay, inventory is looking pretty much what I'd expect to have at this point. Hookshot you get later, Fire Rod and the medallions you get later. Although you could technically have ether at this point by going back up the mountain. The lamp. Hammer you'd get in pod normally. The Flute and shuffle. That's a question. Does the shuffle exist? The flute presumably does, but it seems like you should get it differently because there's been no sign of the forest grove for the flute boy. Although there was that mysterious man with a red cane and some animals around him, so that's another thing to be wondering about. Bug catching net. Just another question, because in this game you can catch fairies directly with the bottles. The bugs net would seem to have no point, so is there a different item there? The canes and the rod not available yet, or the canes and the cape are not available yet, so... the only things I could have normally in the actual game that I don't here are the red boomerang and shield, but that's because I have not been up to Zora yet. That's on purpose, because I'm hoping to chain that in with Catfish now, assuming both actually exist. Yep, tree pool is still there, although it's not really a tree. Huh. Normally there would be a land bridge here to the right that would get into the Palace of Darkness, but it looks like although our destination is still the Palace of Darkness, I'm not seeing connection there. So do you need flippers already, or is the map just not quite accurate? We head to the south. This is still blocked off by hammer pegs, so there has to be another route. Yeah, there's just a little bridge here that comes over here. I guess this is the Dark World Guard. They look considerably different than in the final. Yeah, this is where the land bridge would normally connect, right around here. And there's just nothing. Dark World trees look a lot different than normally. They barely even look like trees. Anyway, I probably should treat this like an unknown randomizer, because there's no telling what might be in any of the caves. This looks like Hype Cave. Although I probably shouldn't have taken that just yet. Yeah, I'm at max rupees. I'll come back here after trying Zora. I think the chests in the back are all rupees if it's not randomized. Yeah, I don't think there's even a heart piece there. But yeah, Hype Cave is the cave that would normally be in the rock south of where Link's house or the bomb shop is, near the Swamp Palace. Which can be a big deal in randomizer because it's 5 chests in one place. Well, 4 chests in that guy. Not as important in the actual game because it's just money, I think. Anyway, if Catfish is a thing, it will be over here. Dark World Zoras, whatever they call it, still look the same. Yeah, shouldn't have tried that. Yeah, that's still a fake rock. Oh, the sign looks neat. Lake of Ill Omen. Probably be faster just to jump down there and go through, but eh. This looks the same, so I should be able to pick up a bush here, jump down, throw it in the rocks. Yep, we have Catfish. Is this still Quake? Probably. There we go. I'm going to try that out just in case it looks or acts different. That seems the same. Turns things into... I think they're Daikon. Which are in the Heart Drop pack, in case you want extra health. They're pretty good for that. Anyway, I should be able to mirror here, go over to Zora, get the flippers, assuming that hasn't been changed. And of course I land right on the rock. Looks like the waterfall is still there. And... okay, that's sudden. No Zora's Domain, just right here. Flippers, 500 rupees. Exactly as expected. So now I have room for more cash, although whether I'll actually need it is another question. Because really, I should have more money than I'll ever need at this point. Swimming animation looks pretty much like you'd expect. We have Zoras hopping out of the water here, so that's still a thing, just not the same place as usual. Let's try the usual boomerang. Fairy appears. And magic boomerang? Yes. Okay, what do I have in bottles? Let's release a fairy. Fairies do look different in this. Try tossing the bottle in, see if we still get a green potion. Yeah, other things I'm wondering about with overworld and items is half magic. Is that still a thing because there was no well near the smith for the magic pad to be in? Although there was a hammer-locked cave in the village that might be that. Yeah, hit the button too fast. She'll say, did you drop this? And they'll be like, I'll be right back, more careful. Yeah. Magic Cape I'm wondering about because there were no openable gravestones by Sanctuary. So King's Tomb is apparently not a thing. Anyway. The dinky little shield, which come to think of the menu icon looks a bit different. Okay, here's our shield upgrade. I feel like that looks a bit different too. I think the emblem is larger than usual. Anyway. Yeah, we do still have those whirlpools to go through, but for now, let's head toward Pod and see if I can... Yeah, see if the hobo's a thing. I should be able to mirror from down there to get to under the bridge. Assuming that he still exists and is in the same place. Right, rock. Surprised I didn't get hit. And that looks like there's railing around the river here, so you can't jump in. Which is kind of interesting. Anyway, let's finish checking Hype Cave. Which, as I said, I think this is all rupees. 20s, I think. Yep. Alright, no quick stop. As I've mentioned a few times, I've gotten a little too used to randomizer. But really, why wasn't equip swap a thing to begin with? It's not like you're using LNR for anything. Okay, so you can jump in the river here. That's just a land bridge, and there's nowhere to mirror on the river itself. Let's see if I can get there from here, though. So in the actual game, you can't just jump in the river here, but obviously you can in this. And this looks the same. So yeah, well, other than the bridge graphic itself. But the setup looks the same. So this is probably a third bottle. As I mentioned, if you have a bottle selected and press Y, you do the bug catching net thing. So it's not a separate item, which makes me wonder what might be there instead of the bug net. Of course, that's assuming that there is anything. Anyway, come over here. This is probably the shop that equates to the Witch's Hut because the Witch's Hut was moved down here. Oh no, this is a special shop with the advanced shield. That's normally to the east of the village, between there and the castle. We have hammer pegs to the south. Which is interesting. I'm not sure why it would feel the need to keep you out of the lake, but apparently it does. This should be fairies. Yep, fairy. I said, it's kind of weird exploring in this version of the game because there's a lot of unknowns, but there's also a lot that's the same as in the original, so it's not like an entrance randomizer where everything is shuffled around, but there's a lot where there might be something there that wouldn't be normally. There's a lot where you're not quite sure what something is. The colors here still look a bit off. The hedge mage looks interesting. It looks more like overgrown vines and weeds. And I'm being a bit careless there. Come on. You can still come down here. There's a fairy. I'm going to try to catch it. If it gets close enough. There we go. Never hurts to have safeties when you don't know what to expect. Yep, free bombs. Sometimes, anyway. Yep, there's presumably the warp tile target. I remember seeing that ring there with oh, this guy looks different. Is that a vase with arms and legs? Anyway, as I was saying, I remember seeing the ring of hammer pegs with a rock in the middle of them in the light world. These are in the special prize pack? I thought they were hearts. Oh, the other one did drop a fairy, so yeah. But I think they're normally in the heart prize pack. Yeah, the layout of this is a bit different. Well, maybe more than a bit. Or maybe it's not after all. I just never come over here. It's a little harder to see yourself in here, but not too bad. So if this goes as usual, you come up here. Through this. Actually, is there anything up here? Probably not. Yeah, the same, nothing as usual. It looks more orderly on the map, but it's not. Seems to be basically the same layout as usual. You come in here. Monkey should pop up around here. There he is. Pay him off to get him to follow you. Don't get hit or run away. And you come over to Pod. Pay him more money, and he opens it. Same as always. This looks basically the same. I think I remember there being statues there. We have walls here instead of the thinner walls and the pushable statue on the one side. No statue in the middle of the room. This should be the... Yep, there's the key. Which will get you in through the middle door. Alright, I want to try grabbing one of those with the boomerang in case the double heart glitch happens. Yep, you can still go around the outside of that. So you don't have to hit this one twice. Yep, just one heart. This looks the same as always, except that you can't bash into. And there's no hint tile up there. This you don't even need to bomb, but it's probably still the mimics in here. Yep. and no pots to refill your arrows. Although these do drop them fairly often, so... Alright, so this is the bow locked side. Interesting that you can hammer down to the switch itself. It looks like you'd be stuck there, though. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a bombable wall on this side, though. So that is a significant difference. And this is just fairies, so... Back to the entrance. Yep, narrow corridor. Locked door. Alright, come over here. That's cracked, but you can't fall in. The big chest is over there instead of the big key chest. No chest here. No chest to the right, otherwise that's the same. What if hammer jump works? Probably. Never bothered to learn it, though. But there's nothing to hammer jump to. Also, this isn't locked, so it looks like they have less keys in this version of the dungeon. Those are as fragile as ever. Bombs. But the bombs are largely pointless without the big chest to bomb, too. Alright, you come around here. I'm kind of amazed at people that can do this room in the dark. I have enough trouble navigating it when I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, and normally you'd bomb through here to get to the big chest. But instead the big key is here. And in this room. That's a significant departure. The tile set is somewhat different, but not hugely so. I also feel like the layout of the maze was slightly changed, but again, I'm not as familiar with it as I'd like to be. Okay, the turtles. Now with spikes. This is different. If the rupees are not here, the hallways are different. We still have 2 chests, though. 100 rupees instead of the single arrow. Gonna bake these away from the chest. Yep, still the compass. Into Harmless Hallway. That's a lot different. That's something I've never seen before. Yeah. Had a feeling. Yeah, the spike glitching out on the statue. That was a waste of a key. Anyway, should be able to get to the big chest the way you'd normally get to the big key chest. Which should be to bomb through the railing on this side. Oh, that's different. At least I can still get to the chest. Which should have the hammer. Yep. And now I can do the rest of the room if there is in fact anything else here to do. Yep. It's a kill room instead of a step on a button room. But this will presumably be the key you need to get to the boss. No, it's money. Maybe you don't need a key to get to the boss. I'd better hope not, because if I do, then you're... yeah. If you do, then I'm a short one. Right, it's the top right. Though I could just mirror. Anyway. Through here. Shield actually coming in handy. That's easier to hit without the chest. This is presumably going to be the same. No? Did that just unlock without a key? I could have sworn I was out. This is different. Looks like it combines the Mimic room with the... yeah, this room. Instead of having them as separate rooms, the super tile is just one big room. That's kind of neat. Definitely less keys than usual here in Pod. This looks different. No turtles in this room. I'm going to assume this is still a kill room. Although without the lamps, or without the torches, it's more trouble than it would normally be. Oh, piece of heart. That's unexpected, but okay. Makes me wonder if I've missed any in previous dungeons. Yeah, nothing to push here, so that's not even a kill room. There's not even a locked door there. Anyway, this should still be the house, and I don't even need the big key. Unless... was the big key door the one that I unlocked along the way here that I thought I had no keys for? Yeah, I think I remember seeing the lock symbol on it. You only get that for big key doors in this. Where normal locked doors just look closed. Okay, I'm taking more hits than I should, but this shouldn't take much longer. Yep, we're done. And also, I'm back up to max rupees already. And that still looks not right. Oh well, that's our first crystal regardless, and the hammer, which means a lot more opens up. I think I'm going to follow a route kind of like what you might use in a randomizer or even a speedrun, where I go over towards the western area first and come back to Swamp later. Of course, that's assuming the game lets you. But I've seen nothing so far to indicate otherwise. Anyway, that's one crystal down. Have the hammer. Yep, dungeons look like they're all in their usual spots. Skullwoods looks a little different up there. Zoom in. Yeah, there's like a kind of a plateau up in the corner. That looks different there also, but it did in the light world as well. Turtle Rock is actually showing on the map. I can't remember if it does in the actual map or not. Ice Palace Swamp is there. Mire. East Town. Alright, so back through the hedge maze. And I think head south first, because I'm curious why you're gated out of the lake. Actually, first, as long as I have all this money. Wait, they're not in the same spot? Yeah, the game will not let you drink a potion that you don't need at all. So to use a green potion, you need to have at least slightly less than max magic. For the red potions, you need to be at slightly hearst. And similarly for blue, you need one or the other. That looks kind of neat. Anyway. Yeah, the lake seems to be just the lake. Although you can get out on the west shore, so that's probably what the reason for gating it off is. Here's Hylia Island, but I remember not seeing anything on it. Check anyway. Yeah, this is just pointless. So why even have that here? The Ice Palace will be over here. Probably still need to get in from the light road with mitts. I might as well check the east shore. Yeah, no whirlpool there. Get shot in the back. Come to think of it, I don't remember what's actually up here, except that it's not normally any real point to coming here. Except an entrance rando. Yeah, that's just a clue person. Unless they changed it. Which I suppose is possible, but it seems unlikely. Might as well take the healing. And the third one, I think, was a hint tile. Yep. Your shield does still work in the water for what that's worth. Which occasionally is something. Especially if you're doing fake flippers. I've seen people trying to fake flipper to Hobo get hit by an arrow from one of the guards on the bridge. Where if you have a shield, you just face that way and it bounces off and you're fine. Anyway. Oh, come to think of it. Can I mirror into the... What am I thinking? Right, the side area near Link's house, there were some breakable rocks. Yeah, those look more like the final moblins than the moblins do. Like, maybe it was around here? No, this is just the same in both worlds. was I thinking of then? Maybe it was inside this fence over here? Okay, where am I? Oh, Link South is further west. Yeah, there. But it looks like that was also inaccessible in the Dark World, so probably not. Maybe just for decoration. Yeah, it doesn't look like you can even get up there. There's hammer pegs. Let's see, this should be the bomb shop. And it is indeed. It looks neat, but other than that, it's pretty unremarkable. So here's that stump where the guy was in the light world. Is that any different now that I beat Agahnim? It looks like not. He's just kind of there. I put a hammer for hammer pegs, which are still up here even though the smith is not. Oh, right. It's not based on the Japanese ROM, so I can't item dash. And this is normally a heart piece. But instead it's fairies and bees. It's kind of a ripoff. I think it does stay open permanently, but still. That's a lot of effort for really nothing. Yep. Not bombable walls. I'm not sure this game even allows for invisible bombable walls. So in the southwest, there was a house? Yeah, I think this was the fortune teller in the light world, and the shop here in the dark world. Nothing important either way. And race game does not appear to exist at all. Anyway, as I recall, there was a hammerlocked cave here in the light world. That's fairies. Like, here? Yeah. Which you can also get into with the mirror, but to get here you need the hammer regardless, so... This looks like it might be the well, but redesigned. No, this is Magic Bat. Let's see if Hack Magic is still a thing. Oh, he looks a little different. It's not a straight-on view, he's kind of turned a bit to the left. It's kind of a 3/4. I think he looks better this way. Yep, we have half magic. Or so he says. It doesn't look any different. Oops. Yeah, that's the risk of using the mirror right in front of an entrance. Although I think there was also a house in the town that had hammer pegs inside. Not that one, not the library. I think the northeast one was the Elder's Hut. Yeah, here. There's your flute. So it's just there. And do you need to activate it, or... Nope, it just works. Yeah, internally the game has two different flutes. There's an activated one and the inactive one. Yep, this takes you here as usual. Not sure what the point of 2 even is when their witch's hut isn't there. I think there were hammerable things to a warp tile around here somewhere. Yep. So probably Bombos is still the same place. I might as well get that now. Yep, and this is blocked off as usual, but with this handy indicator saying warp here. There's the tablet. And this does indeed look like Bombos. Tablet looks kind of odd after it's used. I recall there being more hammerable stuff over here, with a liftable rock that's probably the warp tile. Definitely more convenient than in the final game. You don't have to circle through the woods to get to it, or use the mitts to lift a heavy rock. There's a thief. Looks rather different. But it looks the same as the one that was in the cave. So I guess that makes sense. Here's the brewery, which has our bottle. That's normally in purple chest, so perhaps purple chest is not a thing. There's a shop. Yeah, what about the smiths? I can't recall having seen anywhere he could have been. There's C-shaped house. And money. Completely worthless at this point. I definitely did not need to go to the effort of collecting money early on. The game knows you need 500 rupees for a Zora, so it's more generous than you might expect. Yeah, this is the same as always. See, I think the smith was up here in the light world, so maybe. It looks like a bunch of nothing. Let's just go into Thieves Town for now. And get mildly annoyed at the thieves. But it's Thieves Town, what do you expect? Oh, those look different without their mohawks. That statue looks a lot different. I can't recall what it normally looks like exactly, but not that. There's the bunny beam. I think there's a faster way to do that, but that works. Yeah, so far looking like Thieves Town is largely the same. Of course, there's still the whole back to go through. This should be the big key. I don't think of it. Do you get the map? Yes. Yeah, that looks the same. Doesn't necessarily mean much. Let's see, I think there was a heart down here. No. Up here, then? There it is. A big key door unlocks. There should be a key under this. Yep, blind is not there, and light is not streaming in. So, looks like the usual puzzle is in place. No blocks in this room. Those look different. Spiked balls instead of glowing whatevers. Hellway is still Hellway. This would be easier with a hookshot. Right. Through that. This looks the same as always, other than the graphics. No chest here, but probably more bombs under the pot. Indeed. Okay, so that just leaves the basement and the boss. Which, assuming he wasn't changed significantly, should be largely trivial. Especially with the fireball shield. Yeah, those look different, but they behave the same. There's spikes in the middle of the room instead of a pit, which honestly makes more sense because you should be able to fall down here if there's a pit. Yep, that still does not require the mitts. They were apparently intended to and just didn't. Yeah, got 2 hearts off that. No chests in the maiden cell. The palette's different. I kind of like that dress. Okay, this is different. Yep, no locked doors, just a different path here. Titan's mitts as usual. Yep, to the boomerang. Doesn't really matter at this point. I'm probably not going to be using Y items. Hookshot could allow for a few shortcuts here and there, and an invulnerability item could help, but yeah, too bright. And this is just about over. Just need to not get hit by too many fireballs. There. Got a little off script, but no problem. And there's our Titansmiths and a second crystal. Let's see if I can figure out how to get that sword. Because normally the point of coming here to get the mitts is largely to get the Tempered Sword early. But if I can't find the smith, then I can't do that. Words, words, words. Yeah, the lore is nice the first time you're coming through the game, but... Anyway, this is old stuff now. It'd be nice to be able to skip it. Which is one of the nice things about the randomizer, it just yeets all the text out. And unless it's something that's actually significant, like where to find the green pendant, it just skips it. Alright, let's check behind the smith's area. Because there was that spot on the white world that you couldn't get to. So this might connect to it. This is just Skullwoods. Like usual type Skullwoods. Can I even get to another exit? Yeah, no problem. So more connected than usual. Yeah, this is up by the... In the light world, this was the Death Mountain access cave. In the dark world, it looks like it's just the smith. Okay. And is this Bumper Cave? Looks like it. But where is the cape? Or maybe it's not Bumper Cave. I mean, it looks like the cave, but it might not have a bumper. Or at least not one that blocks your way. It couldn't hurt to find out. Oh, and you do actually need the hookshot. Or jobber. Or a bomb jump. I think I can bomb jump that. Easily. Yeah, how are you meant to get across this? But yeah, there's the bumper. You can't get past that. Anyway. Let's save the poor fellow. And unlike several other followers, you can dash with the Frogsmith, no problem. No exit there. There normally would be, but things have been remixed. The smith is now a smith again. So you go out, you come back in. Hand over 10 rupees. Leave the screen, come back again. And it's an overworld screen transition that triggers the state of things like this to update. And there we are. And that's why you do Thieves Town after a pod. Let's see if there's a further north exit of the woods I can get to. There wasn't in the light world, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It could also be from the mountain. Or it could be through there, which would be the western entrance to the woods. But for now, we'll do Skull Woods. No statue. Sewing Master looks a lot different. I think it's... Is it just the color? And I think the hand is more clenched than usual. So that's a bit different, but nothing major. Let's see if this key is still over here. There's normally a key under the pot. Ooh, nice. We have these skull statues that are not used in the final, but are in the graphics. And this is the perfect place to use them. Yeah, I'll do this the intended way instead of the speedrun way. Huh. Can't boomerang through pots. Yeah, Skullwoods is a good early bombing spot if you're doing an inverted rando. So you just drop in there, you go a few bombs, take a death, do it over again. I don't think you're meant to do that, but it works perfectly well. Just a little magic. This should be the fire rod. You could hookshot across that if I had the hookshot, but there's also a chest to get over here unless they removed it. It's just the map. But I might as well full clear the dungeon, because there's no telling if anything's been moved. Just try out the fire rod. That does seem to be reduced usage, so that's good. Yep, mistimed that a bit. I was trying to drop the thing in the pit. But I can never remember exactly where the pits are. See, I think this is another key. Yep. Let's just finish the loop. I was hoping that was far enough away to not hit. Not quite. Alright, to the back of the dungeon to finish Mothula. Mothula, not one of my favorite fights. It's kind of a pain. But with potions and fairies, it should be no problem. Potions, fairies, fire rod, half magic. Some armor would be nice, but it's probably still in Ice Palace and Ganon's Tower. That looks odd. But I guess you still fire rod it? Yep. And if this were randomizer, I'd do a pedestal check, but not being randomizer, we already have the Master Sword. Alright, it's this way. I always forget that. And no hearts there. I think there normally are. Okay, so there's a pot with a key instead of a chest with a key. Functionally the same. Unless you're randomizing chests. You can kind of go along the edge of the pit there. And here we set things on fire. You can save a shot by going through there. Huh. Spin attack does not cut curtains. That's kind of odd. You're supposed to kill the Gibdo to get the key, but I already have one, because of one I didn't waste earlier. Yeah, Moth is a pain mostly because of the arena, not because of Moth itself. Oh, come on. Yeah, the spikes are negating the damage. Because Moth is immune to spikes, and if you hit something into spikes, the spike damage replaces the damage it would have taken. Which usually works to your benefit, but not here. And there will be more talking. And I guess I'll go check along the north dark room. Come to think of it, wasn't there a hammerlocked cave in the northeastern light world, I want to say? Yeah, I'll check that. Okay, there's just nothing here. Interesting. How about over here? This is normally where the one passage in the light world be. Nope, just trees. Lost Worlds in this version is a lot smaller. This drops back into Skull Woods. Oh, that's inside the giant tree. Rather convenient. You notice the cut trees stay cut, that's in case you warp from inside one of them so you don't get stuck. Because you don't want to be mirror portaling back and forth for infinity. Right, can I mirror from here? Almost. And this is why they normally make the light and dark worlds match up a little better than this. Okay, so what I wanted to do was come back through the mirror portal. See if that passage goes to the northeast, where I can't actually get in the light world. Up here. Yeah, this is the part of the Lost Woods or Skull Woods you never come to. Because the furthest southwest entrance connects to the furthest northeast exit, and to nothing else. You cannot get to the actual dungeon from here. Okay, that looks suspicious. I think this is saying mirror here. And indeed. But what is this? Oh, there's a tile to warp back to the Dark World. This is Zora's domain, but repurposed. We have statues of monsters. That's interesting. I recognize this as an unused enemy. So prototype Lionel, maybe? These look like bosses. Is that Trinex? Hmm. Well, that's an interesting oddity, but it looks like functionally it's just for a heart piece. Still, there does seem to be a Dark World equivalent here, given the tile. So, what have we here? You can't go back into the woods, of course, because you couldn't come out that way. Will this be our magic cape? It does look like King's Tomb. Yes. Magic cape. So that gives us Bumper Cave. And presumably that is it. Just a heart piece, but I kind of want it. But I still want to know how you're expected to cross this. Because that doesn't work. And there's no pot on the other side to hookshot to. Are you actually expected to bomb jump? Oh, that was wrong. Not close enough to the edge. Too close. Of course I get it the first time, and now that I have the cape, I can't get across. And vertical bomb jumps are the easy ones. There. Come on. I know there's a delay after choosing the cape before you can activate it, but I don't remember it being that bad. Yeah, and this is just the return from the up there. That still bothers me, though. It looks like you should be able to fall into it. But you can't. And unless it was here, which I don't think it is, I think this is next to it. Oh, maybe. This seems like it could be a bad idea. But it worked. That just goes to the whole hand room, though. So, not intended. Where does this go, anyway? Okay. Just right by Zora area. Actually, I remember there being heavy rocks by the mysterious cane guy. Just want to make sure there's nothing under here. Wait, he's gone. This is the same spot, isn't it? Could it be he's linked to the flute? Because the flute playing quid is linked to the flute. Once you get the flute, he no longer appears in the light world. Alright, let's see if I can find that hammer pave that I think I remember seeing. Not there. Yeah, these are still a mystery. Unless they're just decoration. This, I think, warps down to the swamp area? No. This is... Okay, yeah. Southeast Lake warps to village region. And this looks similar to what's normally near the village, but... Okay, that connects to the swamp area, so that's normally the whirlpool by the witch. I could have sworn I remember there being a hammerlocked cave around here somewhere. That's just a fairy. I could get ether, but yeah. Don't actually care enough to bother at the moment. Although, is there any better time to do it? Let's just go up the mountain. I'm kind of curious when speedrunners route this in. Because you do need it to get into Mire. It doesn't make sense to do Turtle Rock and then come back down to Mire. So it's probably just sometime after getting the flute. Probably after getting the mitts. So they can do something on... Well, there's really nothing that needs doing on East Death Mountain. If it's not a randomizer. And those who are scared of your sword and will leap away. That's just a rock. Yep, this is ether as usual. Might as well see a spike cave is here. There's the jump off point. There is a cave here. Oh, and not even a cave, not even a rock lift. But that is the Cane of Burna. And as usual, I'll save and quit out of here. Yep, that starts you on the pyramid. I think I'll do Swamp and then stop for now. I'm pretty sure the speedrun rests that in next to last. But I kind of want the hookshot. And there's no real reason to put it off. As there's really nothing else I could want to make it easier. Except maybe armor. But, eh. That's odd. YouTube is saying the bitrate is down. Is sound not working? Okay, I need hearts. There's Swamp Palace. It looks like it's just there. Okay, it looks like my sound cut off on the stream, so I restarted it. It seems okay now. Although considering what we're currently hearing on the stream, maybe you don't want sound. Okay, that's better. I got a bit careless. Oh, that damages those. Interesting. Okay, so there's Swamp. Looks like I might need to get there from the mirror portal. Or not the mirror portal, but the warp tile. Trying to shoot me in the back. Not very nice. Gotta think of it. I believe Cave 45 was here. And you do need to mirror to it. But it's just money. I'll take the healing, though. Okay, it should be over this way. Yep, here's Swamp. And there was no floodgate in the light world, so I should just be able to enter. Yeah, the hit tile's not even here. Sword beams hitting instead of the sword itself. Always a hazard of having at full health. See, I think this is the compass normally. No, the map. Compass is in the south of the main hub. Yeah, I'm getting hit a lot more than I should. being careless. I'll take the magic. It's not really getting low, but not full either. Double kill. Back into the water. And if I had the hookshot, I'd hookshot up there to get the key, but I don't, because the hookshot is in here normally. Yep, that's the compass. Should I go for diver down? Yeah, probably not worth it. Alright, I need a key from over here anyway. So there's really no diver down to do. At least not on this floor. Probably still can do it in the basement. I think I'll give it 1 or 2 tries if I have the health to spare. Remember to flip that back so I can get to the chest. And remember, that's not 13 hearts because there's only 8 hearts in a row. So 11 out of a maximum of 16 in this version. Alright, normally you'd hookshot across from here, but no hookshot, so... that was a waste. And by normally, I mean in a randomizer. Obviously, you can't do it in the original game because you wouldn't have the hookshot yet. Because you need the big key from over here to get the hookshot from the big chest. Okay, otherwise... yeah, other than graphics, Swamp is looking identical to usual so far. Yeah, skeletons are in the variety pack. Okay, so you hookshot over here to get the key. I think there might have been a heart on this side. Yep. Alright, if this room looks the same, I'm going to try for a diver down. And it does. Now, assume I can remember how to line up for that. So I think you want it to be that high. You have 1 pixel off the bottom. No, that's not lined up right. That might be. It's kind of tricky how you need to do the inputs. You need to jump into the water. There. You hold down and right until you hit the water, and then you go to just holding right as soon as you come out of it. And for some reason, that lets you clip the tiniest bit into the railing, and then the bomb can push you to the side. And into it where you can jump down. Similarly with the Samaria block, you can kind of clip between the block and the... Oh. Is this not here? Yeah, but you can kind of clip between the Samaria block and the railing by the same method. Anyway. You're basically to the boss. These, as I recall, are actually on a different layer, so you can only hit them with medallion magic. This room looks slightly different, but is functionally the same. And this brings us to Argus. Oh, come on. I hit the sword button. Anyway, with Tempered Sword, this is almost trivial. I set up a little bit. That's more or less what you want to try to do the last time there. I think I was trying to shoot too rapidly. Okay, so that's crystals 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 5, 6, and 7 for 3 more heart containers. And I think I have 2 pieces of heart, so there are 2 more left to find somewhere. The Triforce will grant the wishes of whoever touches it, as long as that person lives. That is why it was hidden in the Golden Land. The person who rediscovered the Golden Land was Ganondorf, the evil thief. Luckily, he couldn't figure out how to return to the Light World. Because he didn't have the mirror that you do. Somehow that got lost in translation. Anyway. Sure, I understand. Okay, so inventory-wise, I'm only missing the Cane of Samaria and whatever would normally be where the bug net is. Also equipment upgrades, but yeah. We'll get those in due time. Also, I'm just noticing the Titan's Mitt is not looking golden down there. The palette doesn't seem to be the same. Also, the boots, gloves, and flippers look less detailed. Anyway. Yeah, and 2 of 4 heart pieces. And these guys are still jerks. So, yeah. It's about 90 minutes of streaming now, so I think this is a good stopping point. We'll have Ice Mire and Turtle Rock to do later, and Ganon's Tower. Which I'm hoping will be different the way Agahnim's Tower was, because, again, the other dungeons have been boringly the same, except for a few minor changes here and there. But, yeah. For now, this has been Arifel playing Link to the Proto. Come back next week and maybe we'll finish it. Or maybe I'll leave a little bit for one last episode. We'll see.